The battlefield was a crimson wasteland, littered with the shattered remnants of machines and the fallen bodies of soldiers. General Zhirith of the Crexian Dominions stood on a ridge overlooking the carnage, his four yellow eyes scanning the chaos below. Crexians were bred for war, their towering armored forms engineered to inspire terror. But even Zhirith, hardened by decades of conflict, felt a gnawing unease in his core. It wasn't the battlefield that unsettled him, it was the humans. The Crexian Dominion had fought countless species in their pursuit of galactic domination. Most alien races fell quickly, their resistance futile against Crexian firepower. But humans were different. Zhirith had been deployed to oversee this war personally after hearing of their legendary tenacity. Now, seeing them in action, he finally understood why. The humans fought with a ferocity that defied logic. They were smaller, weaker, and less technologically advanced than the Crexians, yet they stood their ground. Their soldiers charged headfirst into battle. Even when faced with impossible odds, their machines, though crude compared to Crexian warships, were piloted with a creativity and daring that bordered on suicidal. And when humans were cornered, they didn't surrender, they fought harder. Zhirith watched as a squad of human soldiers defended a narrow trench against an overwhelming Crexian assault. The humans had run out of ammunition, yet they fought on, using anything they could find as weapons. One soldier, a female with a bleeding arm, wielded a shattered rifle like a club, bashing Crexian troops off their feet. Another, a male missing half his helmet, detonated a grenade at point-blank range, sacrificing himself to take out a Crexian walker. Madness, Zhirith muttered, his voice trembling. Absolute madness. General, one of his advisors said, stepping forward, the humans are resilient, but their defeat is inevitable. Should we deploy reinforcements? Zhirith didn't respond immediately. His eyes remained fixed on the battlefield as the humans regrouped, dragging their wounded to safety while others pressed the attack. They should have broken hours ago, but they fought as if they were born for war, not out of desperation, but out of defiance. No, Zhirith finally said, his voice heavy, withdraw our forces. The advisor blinked in surprise. Withdraw? But General, we are on the verge of victory. Victory. Zhirith turned to face the advisor, his expression unreadable. What does victory mean when it comes at such a cost? Look at them. They fight not for conquest or greed, but for each other, for survival. The advisor hesitated, confused. They are merely primitives. Their resistance ice. They are not primitives. Zhirith snapped, his voice echoing. They are something else entirely, something we cannot comprehend. Without waiting for a response, Zhirith descended the ridge and returned to his command ship. The chaos of battle faded behind him, but the image of the humans lingered in his mind. As the doors to his private quarters closed, he slumped into a chair, his massive frame trembling. In that moment, Zhirith made a decision, one that would forever change the course of his life. 2 weeks later, the Crexian High Command summoned Zhirith to explain his decision to withdraw. The council chamber was a vast, imposing space, its walls adorned with the banners of conquered worlds. The Crexian overlords sat in a semicircle, their expressions stern. General Zhirith, one of them began, your retreat allowed the humans to reclaim critical territory. Explain yourself. Zhirith stood tall, his voice steady. I withdrew because I saw the futility of this war. The humans are not an enemy we can defeat through conventional means. Their spirit is unbreakable. The overlords exchanged glances, their expressions darkening. Spirit does not win wars, General. Superior firepower does. Then you do not understand the humans, Zhirith said, his tone defiant. They'd fight for something greater than themselves. They'd fight with a determination that surpasses logic. To continue this war is to invite our own destruction. The chamber erupted in murmurs. One of the overlords leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. Are you suggesting that the Crexian Dominion should fear these primitives? Zhirith hesitated, then spoke the words that had haunted him since the battlefield. Yes. The silence that followed was deafening. The overlords stared at him in disbelief before one of them finally spoke. You are relieved of your command, General. Leave this chamber at once. Shirith bowed his head. As you wish. Exiled from the Dominion, Shirith found himself adrift. He wandered the galaxy searching for meaning, but no matter where he went, he couldn't shake the memories of the humans and their indomitable spirit. Eventually, he made a bold choice. He would go to Earth. Disguised as a merchant, Shirith landed on the human homeworld. To his surprise, he was met not with hostility, but with curiosity. The humans welcomed him, eager to share their culture and stories. They were unlike any species he had encountered, full of contradictions, yet united by a shared resilience. Shirith spent months living among them, learning their ways. He watched as they celebrated victories and mourned losses as they built and rebuilt with unyielding determination. For the first time in his life, he felt something he had never known: admiration. One evening, as Shirith sat in a small human town, watching children play in the streets, a human approached him. She was an elderly woman, her face lined with wisdom. "You're not from around here, are you?" she asked, her tone kind. Shirith hesitated, then shook his head. "No, I am a visitor." The woman smiled. "Well, you're welcome here. We don't care where you're from, as long as you're willing to be a part of our community." Shirith felt a warmth in his core, a sensation he couldn't quite name. "Thank you," he said softly. In that moment, Shirith understood why the humans fought so fiercely. They weren't just defending their planet or their species. They were protecting a way of life, a sense of belonging that transcended the stars. And for the first time, Shirith felt he had found a place where he truly belonged. He would never return to the Crexian Dominion. His days as a general were over. Now he was simply Shirith, a wanderer who had found a home among the most extraordinary beings in the galaxy.